line on speed out, hit me to chill. Like give it a thrill, I put it on film. Just so I get a clock, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping the nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only like that I do it colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Jump on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell. They're finna sell. Hey, they talk like they got it, but they need to stop it. Leading with logic, my heartbeat is frosted. I see they got optics I need it from Shawty. She mean with the top, and it's obvious. They need him a top.
I'm dodging and dodge, make a reach for the stars. I'm jumping, I'm forcing the punt off the run.
Wait, let me bring that back. Let me bring that back. Let me what was that? I should have studied these questions, man. What's good? I am Albert Temporosa Peñafuerte, better known as aeroWithADot. I represent Third World Entertainment, Aware, Empanada, Picnic. I am an MC, entrepreneur, family man, and your truest homie. When I was young, I was growing up as a military brat. My father was in the U.S. Navy and we traveled around a lot, so I was introduced to many cultures, to many ethnicities, races, religions, and but one thing I really remember is when growing up, I saw movies like Beat Street, Wild Style, Breakin', and I was exposed to the hip hop culture. The elements of b-boying, graph writing, DJing, MCing. It was something that always intrigued me and interested me. So when I saw it on the screen, and even though they looked like they were different from me, I knew I wanted to be part of them early on. What's funny is I'm not aware of any musicians in the family, but I do have a couple of cousins who can strum on the guitar. But as far as making music and performing music, I don't know of any. So at an early age, I remember weekend mornings where my dad would play records from Ray Valera, VST and Company, the Cascades, the Beatles. Those were vinyls he had in his collection, and I was accustomed to since I was a kid. Those were the sounds that I remember growing up. I'm heavily influenced by Wu-Tang Clan and Souls of Mischief and the records that I just mentioned earlier. I'm so into the message of love. I'm so into the way of getting my points across in a short amount of time, where I do rap slow. People know that as my forte. I'm not a speed rapper. I'm just trying to get my point across and my message to the audience as fast as I can in the simplest and the form possible without making anything complicated. And Wu-Tang Clan and Souls of Mischief were those groups that really attracted me from the beginning. And I still carry on their style to this day. No, I don't have any proper music training or education. It's all from the heart. It's all my soul. It's through feels. That's how I get on a microphone and spit a rhyme. aeroWithADot. Formerly, it was just Aero, and the Aero came from the word aerosol. Before I was an MC, I was a graph writer. I love to do graffiti, and what's kind of weird is because if you take a graph writer and an MC, we put our thoughts into notebooks. I think that's one thing that's in common when it comes to graph writers and MCs. Is like we brainstorm and everything goes in a notebook. So I think maybe that's how I transitioned from that, is I was always used to carrying something to write with or draw with, and a notebook where I kept my thoughts, right? Whether it was a drawing or a verse. So Aero, it became aeroWithADot when I got here in the Philippines, because when I used to hang out at Tay Station and Corner Stop by LaSalle, shout out, I used to rock these self-made shirts that said Aero in Times New Roman with a period. I just thought it looked cool with a period. It was just Aero, Aero period, a little statement. And every time people would see it, they'd be like, hey, aeroWithADot, hey, aeroWithADot, aeroWithADot. It stuck to me, and eventually it found its way into one of my notebooks and into my rhyme and in actual songs. What inspired me to write my own songs was because of the groups that I was influenced by. People like Wu-Tang Clan and Souls of Mischief. I wanted to be just like them. I wanted to be heard. And when I finally had access to getting those things done, I took a step forward and just did it. Plus, as I got older, I realized that I really wanted to leave a legacy behind. So when I'm gone off this earth, my people could always have me in the room just by simply pressing play. I can be with them for that 3 minutes to 4 minutes, and they can enjoy my presence for a bit, even when I'm dead. The way I write songs is it's basically a freestyle that just goes on and on and on, and I capture it on paper. What you might not know is that I carry around a phone that can't even be updated anymore. It's just an old phone. Battery works well, and besides that, the phone that I use on a daily basis, that is where I keep all my rhymes. So I might be out shopping, I might be out chilling, I might be just doing something regular in a day, night, and whenever I come across a thought, I always make sure to type it down, because you never know when that can be used in a song. And then during the day, eventually it accumulates. It's almost equal to a standard verse in hip-hop, right? But my favorite way of creating is when I'm in the studio with the producer and the artist I might be collaborating or featuring on that track as well. I love to create on the spot, meaning write it, record it. When you're done, you know that you have something stored in the computers and it's just ready to be mixed and mastered. In my city, I wrote that because I was completing my first mixtape, which is the Bacolod City Bandit mixtape. I believe that was in 2007. Side note, I sold about 200 of those, had enough pocket money to take my first trip out to Manila, and that's how they heard me, and that's how In My City got played locally on the radio stations and got my way into these gigs and events there. But In My City was written over, originally written over Scarface's My Block. Basically, I took his idea. He was talking about his neighborhood, but then I said, you know what, I can change the words around and talk about my city as a whole. So I love that song. I love to perform that version I just mentioned because it's my roots and it's what put me on in the first place, you know. So Awear is the clothing brand. Empanada is self-explanatory. Picnic is more like made to order. We do smash burgers, chili dogs, to even fancier stuff like slow cooked calyos and traditional island plate lunches. Awear, That's all about, you know, street lifestyle, the art lifestyle, the culture lifestyle. Uh, Be aware is the slogan, and it's basically, you know, recognizing the dope ones that hustle for their movement, whether it might be music, art, even sports, just, you know, everybody local putting it down. That's what aware and the slogan be aware means. Empanada is something we plan to expand on. We want to do our flagship store as soon as possible. We're already in the talks about doing that, and it's been the bread and butter on a daily basis for my wife and I. Shout outs to her Lola, who came up with the recipe. My wife revised it, and it's been doing well for us, right? Putting food on the table, if you want to put it that way. And picnic is really another side hustle. I do that for people that know me and know the way that I cook. So we do Americanized style cooking, and it's usually, yeah, it's pre-ordered, and I don't know, it's food that I grew up eating when I was abroad, and I brought it out here. Picnic also, wordplay with my father-in-law, rest in paradise. So for everything that was mentioned and I'm involved in, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't want them to be successful, because that's stupid. I want everything to grow in due time, because I know I worked hard for it, I built it, I believe in it, and I know that it's getting its recognition slowly but surely, and I just hope aware Empanada Picnic become like everyday knowledge, like people know they exist and it's an option out there for people to take. Hey yo, so we got something coming up. I'll be with Mr. Blaze. It's not only a song, it's a whole EP, but we're kicking it off with a track called Victorious. The song and a music video, it's gonna be in early 2024. Excited for that. Shout outs to Flip Music for making it happen and getting it underway. Vaccine, that's gonna be happening all year, next year too. And I wanna give a shout out to all of those who participated the whole 2023 when we conceptualized it from beginning to end. It was massive love, so thank you very much. Stay tuned. Yo, you can reach me on all social media platforms /aeroWithADot for anything. Alright, don't forget aware, Empanada, Picnic, like those pages as well. Behind the crowd.
Rap.
Yeah.